Hey guys, I'm Tom from Geneva Push and Reach Australia, and today we're here with Kate from Vine Church. She's going to help us navigate a little bit about online training during this crazy time. So, Kate, over to you. What do you do? What's Vine Church on about?
Yeah, so Vine Church is in Surrey Hills in Sydney. I'm the Director of Ministry Operations. So I do all things operational to make sure the churches run well. And at the moment, Surrey Hills is pretty much deserted. I would say that we're pretty much the only people here and the bin chickens who roam the street.
How good is that? And Kate, in terms of what you're observing in the Vine Church world, what kind of people are you guys made up of, and what are they doing in response to the virus?
Yeah. Yeah, we're a very urban church. So the vast majority of our people are 25 to 35. The oldest person in our church is, I think, our steward, who is 60. So that gives you an idea of, what our main age ranges are. I think a lot of those people work in the city. And so we have identified this week that about 50% of Vine Church are already self-isolating. At least in some form or another. So most of them have been sent home by work or they're working from home. I think a lot of companies in the city have done that. So obviously that impacts us a lot in Surrey Hills. And I think people are doing well, but are a little bit nervous about what the next few weeks will look like for them.
Totally. And now I've heard, before we get on to online training, you guys have started up some new stuff in terms of pastoral care right now.
Yeah, so I think I'm sure all churches this week have had a pretty crazy week. I know that's been the case for us. So we had a couple of big meetings earlier in the week, working out what Sunday would look like online. We worked out two other things. So one is a pastoral care system. So our whole staff team and a couple of other people will call every church member every 2 weeks at least, to see how they're going, and we're using Elvanto people flows to track that and to put people on a priority pastoral care flow if they're anxious or nervous, or if they have a medical condition which makes them really vulnerable. But more than that, we want to be pastoring people and helping them grow, because Jesus could come back in a couple of weeks. Coronavirus isn't a surprise to God. And so we want to use this in the best way possible. So when we call people, we'll be asking how they're going, but also praying with them and encouraging them from the Bible, to make sure that our people come out the other end with stronger faith, knowing how much God loves them, but also being trained and equipped, and hopefully having a really good connection still with other people in our family. Yep.
Love that. So we're really talking about online training and what we can do with online training while everyone is self-isolating, particularly. Why is training important theologically?
Yeah, I think training is the way that we can have a really big impact for the gospel. So in Surrey Hills, not many people come to church. The emerging demographic, kind of people my age, are walking away from the church. And so that shapes everything that we do. It's the Ephesians 4 picture of ministry. So I am ministering to people, but actually the way that I want to do that, at least in part, is training people and equipping them and making sure that Vine Church can have the biggest impact for the gospel possible, with the years that we have. So that shapes everything that we're doing at the moment. We want to be multiplying the gospel work that we're able to do in lots of different contexts.
So good. I love that. And it's very easy at this moment to slip into, okay, I work for a church, so my job is to do. But at the same time, we still want to be equipping people and building them and training them.
Yeah, totally.
Ephesians.
Yeah. And I think if you love ministry, that's a really hard thing to do, because we love doing. And so it's that mind shift to, I love doing ministry with people, but imagine how much the impact could be if 5 people were doing what I was doing or what our other team members are doing.
Love that. That's so good. Okay, so online training is important. Tell us, what are you guys doing in the now so that people can have a great experience at church even while they can't physically gather?
Yeah, so while the gathering looks different, we want to remind people that church isn't the place, it's not the building, but it is the people. And so we're catering for two groups of people. So one is people that will have heaps more spare time. So maybe they aren't traveling for work at the moment. Maybe they're working less. Maybe they had a long commute for work and they don't have that. We want to, I guess, use that time for the kingdom. The second group is people that are now under an incredible amount of pressure. So people whose jobs are at risk, people who are medical professionals, maybe mums whose kids might now be at home full time. We want to care for them and to train them. So at the moment, we're using Ministry Grid, or we're planning on using Ministry Grid next week to start catering to different demographics. So an example being Bruce Linton, who's our families and kids pastor, is going to do a module on how to run a family devotion. So lots of families now will be at home, and if they haven't done it before, then they won't know where to start or what it looks like, or they might be a bit discouraged by their efforts. So we're planning on using Ministry Grid, partially because you can upload the video, but there's also the function to upload notes and assign it to people and then contact them and make it really interactive. And we want to also start a Bible overview course. So that's a longer term thing. Hopefully church will be on properly soon in our building again. But if not, we want people to come out the other end with a bigger appreciation for the one storyline that goes across the whole Bible. So yeah, that's just two quick examples. When the dust settles, I think we want to be really proactive with people.
It's so good. And then you also want to set yourself up so that when you do get allowed to start meeting again in person, or you guys are ready to hit the ground running, how are you going to use online training to help you with that?
Yeah, so I think it was already a big year for our church. 2 weeks ago, we had the biggest service that we've ever had in terms of size. The next week, it was cut by 50% with people self-isolating. So God is keeping us humble. But we have a big building project which kicks off in July. And we already knew that we would have significant ministry pressure at that point because we need to move off site. There's a lot of change that's happening. But I think now that's really put the impetus on us to get organised and to get going with training in ministry. So there's heaps of things that we're planning on using. We're planning on sending a weekly email with external training content and videos that people can watch. And this week we realised that all of the videos from the Reach Australia conference are online. And so, I heard a great talk on mobilising women for ministry. There are heaps of other ones which we're keen to share with our people and really get them thinking. But more than that, we'll be doing our normal training online. So we call our team meetings huddles. There's a welcoming huddle, there's a production huddle, there's community group leader huddles. And so we'll move them online and use it as a bit of a reset, I think, to work out what do we need to train Vine Church people in more, and what can we keep going and what do we need to get rid of to maximise what we're able to do. So I think there's heaps of opportunities. Been a bit of a crazy week, but longer term, we don't want to waste the time that we've been given, and we want to do everything that we can to train people and equip them so that they look back and they go, wow, while I was self-isolating, I actually grew in my faith and was spurred on in ministry, even though I didn't think that would be possible.
That's really good. Good finish, Kate. I love that. Hey, hopefully it's been helpful for you. If you're tuning in, part of a bigger video series to help you and your church during this crazy time. Thanks so much for joining us, Kate. And we hope you find the videos helpful as well. See you later.